What is going on, guys? It's your boy here again, Dean, and I am giving you guys yet another deck profile for IMAS. This time we're on Passion, and this is going to be the deck that I'm going to be using to jump off and branch away from. And I'm choosing this one for a pretty simple reason. I want to play one of the girls on one of the cards, that's right. So let's get into card by card, and we'll explain the deck a little bit, what it's trying to do, and what I do think is strong about it. It's not the card I chose, by the way. So first up, we got Karu Ryuzaki. This is a 1 mana 2/2, just a goblin, and we can pay 2 extra. If there are at least 5 passion cards in our cemetery, we can choose a follower in our grave, get it back to our hand. That's right. Activated ability for recursion. Once again, I'm liking these goblins. They got more lines of text on them. Broken. Next up is Yuzuki Kitami. This is the Forestcraft card. It's got Ward. Lesson 1. We can select another card on our board, bounce it back to our hand, and then we can only evolve it. This card is very powerful, being able to put down a 1-drop, use it for our big combo, then bring the 1-drop back. Or maybe, you know, like you swing with the 1-drop, you pick it back up, and then you put it back down, and then nothing on your board is tapped. You can do something like that on turn 2. And then on Evolve, it's just a goblin. But more importantly, we select an enemy follower and bounce it back to the opponent's hand if it costs 2 or less. Like that a lot. Very powerful. Has Ward, too. Very annoying for our opponent to deal with this card. We're playing a 1 of Snipe. I think the idea behind this was... This card is not that great for... I mean, like, obviously it's good into a lot of the garbage in this game, but... For our deck specifically, it's hard to like hold mana, and if you just open it, it's like off trait. If you just open it, it's okay, or like just randomly having it's fine. By the way, it's a 1 of. Yeah, it's not too bad. Next up is Mio Honda. That's right, this card is actually a passion card, Storm, and then it's got all the other lines of text. I don't think we play any of we don't play any of the cards that it actually goes with, so it's just a 2/1 Storm. And it's not bad. 2 damage for 2 mana. It's better than some of our other cards. Next up is Miria Akagi. I'm sorry, I'm so bad at these names. 2 mana 2/2. It has a lesson ability that we're never probably going to use, but more importantly, on Evolve, we can discard a passion card and draw 2 cards. It digs us into combo pieces. Helps our deck be consistent. Really, that's the key here, is we want to play a consistent deck, right? Next up is Natalia. We're playing this 1/3 Storm, and on play, we're going to deal damage to a follower equal to the number of other passion followers on our field. So hopefully this just comes down, hits something on our opponent's board for like 2 or 3, acts as removal, and then gets in like a little bit of damage, 1 damage even. And the 3 is nice. It's a little bit harder to kill, which is relevant because our cards want us to have a lot of different cards on board. Next up is Akiho. This is a 3 mana 2/2. This card is actually like awful. Top check 3 for a passion card. You can add any card. And the rest go to the bottom of the deck in any order. Once again, consistency is king. Really wish the stat line was just a little bit better. And on Evolve, what do we get? We get to summon a passion follower that costs 3 or less from our hand. So yeah, you can plus and then build a board. It's a terrible stat line for it. You know, that's 4 mana. It's worse than the cool card that you just play base. But I don't know. I wish it had a little bit more stats. But consistency is king. And what card are we going to be summoning? We're going to be summoning the Risa Matoba, hopefully. This card, 76% chance to hit, by the way, is what it is. We have 15 hits in the deck. We're going to be top checking 3 to summon an IMAS follower that costs 2 or less. Why is this a 2/2? Pompous Princess gets to top check 5 for a 1-drop. This looks at less cards and has a far shittier stat line. But I kind of like the idea of playing like a more low to the ground version of the deck. I just wish it wasn't so bad when you whiffed. Maybe we need to play the 1-drop aggro deck, but I do like the idea of being able to play this down multiple times. because we also have like Grave Recursion as well, and like hopefully build a board off of it and then go from there, because the combo in this deck is really funny. It's Passion, so it's like the funnier of the decks, but it's also got some, when it's going off, it's going to be high rolling. Next up is Yumi. This card is, there's 3 other Passion Followers on our field, which there will be in this deck, or 3 total, sorry, so 2 others. We get to deal 2 damage to an enemy follower, and then we can evolve it for 1. And on evolve, we get to bottom deck a 3 defense or less follower on our opponent's board. Nice removal indeed. Bottom decking is very powerful. It's as good as banishing usually. Center Street, we get to actually use this in this deck in Archetype. Deal 5 damage if we have a Passion card on the board, which we will. We get to draw a card as well. Once we get to 3 mana and up, we're able to usually deal with most of our opponent's threats. Very powerful. This list only played 2 of this. I understand you only need to use this like once or twice in a game to really seal the deal. This is a 4 mana 4/4. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name. We can tap 3 Passion Followers on our field, and then we get to summon a Passion Follower from our hand and give it at the end of the turn. Comes back. So the idea here is we're going to be able to tap 3 things, or as early, right? Like on turn 3, we play this thing down, and we get 2 dudes off of... We get like another guy off of Risa. All we need is that board to stick for a single turn. Just like, please, just like let this 1/3 stick. Let this 2/2 somehow not die. Our opponent does something else. And then we get to put down this. And then we get to summon our big boss monster we're going to talk about later. Even, or like, I don't know, even like, yeah, like on 3, we can play this thing down. Have Evo Orbs. Don't Evo it because it sucks. And then, yeah, Evo with the Evo Orb on the next turn. Play this thing down. Get the full board. Do this. There's a couple different lines of getting 3 cards on board. Usually with things just sticking. And when we do, it's catastrophic for our opponent because we get to summon some actual nuclear bombs in this deck. Next up is Kumiko. She's on the piano. 4 mana 4/4. More importantly, on evolve, we're going to be able to summon a follower that costs 3 or less from our grave. Basically, once again, building a board, top checking more. Really, that's about it. If it's not one of those, if it's not one of our 3 drops, it probably sucks. I guess you can summon the Storm Follower as well, the Mio. And then next up is Akane Hino. 5 mana 5/5. It has Rush and Assail and Strike. Deal 2 damage to the enemy leader. Assail is broken. Lets us attack untap things, the strongest things in this game. And then we also have Pay 2 Lesson to give this thing Storm. So 7 mana and a Lesson is it's 7 damage. It's exactly on curve at all stages of the game. But it's just a nice Passion Follower for us to hit off of our broken card, Mio Honda. 6 mana 5/5 Rush. And on play, we're going to be top checking 2 and summoning a Passion Follower from the top 2. And then we also have Pay 2 Lesson to look at the top 2 cards of our deck, do the exact same thing. It's like a Lamaga that sucks. If you really think about it, it's like a Lamaga that sees less cards. It's what we got as an archetype. What can I say? It's the face of the archetype. It's the entire archetype is seeing less cards than other decks that already exist. But it's okay because they put this payoff in the deck, and that's the Akane Hino. Lesson 3, we can discard 2 Passion Followers, AoE our opponent's board for 6. This is why this card is good. And then draw 2 cards, and also has Storm. So 8 mana 7/7. We can do this as early as turn 4 with this card. We can hit it off of this card, the Mio. Destroy our opponent. 6 is very relevant this format. You don't have to use the Lesson. You don't have to use the hand filter. But you can, and that's what's important. Because, especially in this format, right? Like, I've been noticing some decks build really wide boards. And this, a lot of the AoE currently available is not good enough. But this thing is actually good enough to deal with our opponent's board. Only once, because it is less than 3. But usually that's all you really need to like take control, right? Because you already have 3 cards tapped, usually, or you have this 5/5. And then yeah, this card could come back to your hand if you did it on 4. But if you get off the Mio, it's not coming back to your hand. Your opponent has to deal with the 7/7 and 5/5. The game is over. Hopefully, for them. Is this the best Passion deck? I'm not sure. I need to actually play some more with Passion. And by more, I mean pretty much at all. It's the only class that I haven't played with yet. But this is going to be my starting point, like I said. I'm hoping that this Risa is not that bad. Because this is like the difference between this and some of the other ones is it plays a little bit lower to the ground. Some of the Passion decks definitely played a lot more of the heavy stuff to hope to hit off the Mio. But I like the idea of like trying to win before the Mio hits. Or to at least put yourself in a position where the Mio can win you the game by itself. But yeah, that's it. Let me know if you guys are excited for Passion, what your lists are looking like, and stay tuned because the only deck left is Cute, and that one's pretty good. So see you there. It's your boy Dean signing out.